Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Apa khabar semua? How are you? Okay. All right.
Waalaikumsalam, sir.
Okay, good. Today we're going to continue. I hope I can finish up this chapter number 12. What we will plan today. My plan today is I would like to look at there are a few things. Yeah, I almost forgot. We want to look at the initial condition. Okay, that's number one. What it means is that we can find the value of that C. Okay, the constant C. When you do the integration, there will be a term constant, the C. So now, how can you find the value of the C? Okay, we can find the value of C by looking at or given the initial condition. That means we are given some value of X and Y, then we can find the value of C. So that's number one. Number two, we're going to look at application. Okay, application with regard to chapter number 12. Basically, the related concept is antiderivative. That means we know the derivative. You want to find what is the function. We integrate, you get that. In other words, if you look at marginal cost, correct? Marginal cost is the derivative of what? Derivative of the cost. So given marginal cost, you want to find cost. So that is what we mean by application, which is based on antiderivative. And another example is marginal revenue. So if you know marginal revenue, you can find revenue. So other examples are like any function, okay, any function that you know the derivative, you want to find the function. Okay, so basically that is what we plan for today. And if we can finish early, we will move on to the next chapter. So let's look at initial condition. Now, initial condition is, like I said, we want to find the value of that C, the constant, after you do the integration. So let's go back to what we did last time. You know, if you have, okay, we have a few examples that I have earlier. All right. Now let's say this was the example. Is this your note? Or is this the other class note? Can you tell your note? Is this yours or the other class? Because it's about the same thing, but I didn't remember which one. Is this your class or your class?
Are you streaming, sir?
Huh? You didn't share your screen, sir.
You didn't share the screen.
I didn't share. Tadi saya dah screen.
Yes.
Tadi saya dah tekan dah benda tu.
Dia tak keluar kat screen.
Tak keluar, sir?
Ini dah keluar.
Okay.
Boleh? Okay.
Weh, dah keluar.
Saya tekan tadi, tak keluar rupanya. Okay. Apa nama tu? Ini your class ke ni? Ke another class? Can you check? Saya pun tak ingat. Yang ni. Is this yours or is it not yours? Because I want to use the example that I have here. The power rule here. So let's go and see that example. Now let's say you have the integral, all right? You already have the integral, and the function is given this function here, 2x squared plus 5, everything to the power 7 divided by 7 plus c. Now you want to find the value of that c. So how do you find the value of the c? So this is where this is when you use the initial condition. In other words, you are given the value of one value of the x and the value of the function. So you can find the value of that constant. So let's do that. So you have the cost, the and in other words, it's something like, you are given a point. Okay, you are given a point, then you can find the value of c. So let us do by an example. So let's use that example. So you have, from our previous discussion, I have the integral, okay, which we already integrate. The function is equal to the function 2x squared plus 5, 7, everything divided by 7 plus this. Now let's say we are given f of 1 is equal to 20. So that is what I mean. You are given 1 point. All right. So you essentially were given 1 point for that function. So given that 1 point, you can find c. Because c is a constant. All right. C is a constant. So if you are given the value of the x and you're given the value of the function for that particular x, so you can get c. All right. So we do what? We do by substitution. So by doing the substitution, what do I get? I get f of 1 is 20. So I got 20 equal what? Equal to, you substitute the value of x, which is 1, into the equation. So you got 2, 1 squared plus 5. Everything to the power of 7. You divide by 7, and then you got plus c. So therefore, you got c. So what you have there, 1 squared is 1 plus 2, that times 2, times 2, that will be equal to 2 plus 5, 7. 7 to the power of 7. Oh, cantik lah nombor. 7 to the power of 7 divided by 7. So what is the value? Anybody has a calculator? Calculate that. So 7 to the power of 6. We have 7 to the power of 7 divided by 7. So 7 to the power of 6. Kalkulator saya tak cukup lah. Kalkulator saya tak ada function. To the power of 7. Ada x to the power of 7. Okay, anybody can find that one, that value? Berapa dah? Okay. Berapa dapat? Yang benda dalam bracket tu. Hello, dengar atau tak dengar ni? Can you hear me? Hello? Ada orang kita belakang tu? Saya declare. Okay, get me the value of the 7 to the power of 6. Ini dengar atau tak dengar? Because I didn't hear anything.
117,649.
Dah tadi salah. Berapa dah?
117,649.
117. Oh, salah. 649.
649.
Itu 7 to the power 6 kan? Ke 7 to the power 7? 7 to the power 6 ya? Because we divide dengan 7. So you bring to the other side, that would be equal to very big value. Okay, so it become negative. So that C, okay, that C will be just equal to 117,649 negative plus 20. Value. So that is the value. So the value would be equal to negative 117,629. So that will be the value of C. All right. So that's one example. So if I can consider, let's consider a simpler example so that we can get some value of C that is more reasonable. Let's look at this another example. Suppose the function is equal to 8x plus 5. All right, and then you want to integrate y. Right, integrate y and then find C. Okay, given f of 0 equal to 20. Okay, something 20 kita ada ketika value lain. F of 0 is equal to 12. Okay, so what you want to do, of course, first you want to integrate y. So f of x will be equal to the integral of y dx. And that will be the integration of 8x plus 5 dx. And now this example is simpler to work out. You got 8x squared over 2 plus 5x plus c. So that is the integral. Okay, so that you got 4. So 4x squared plus 5 plus c. Now you want to find the value of c. How can you find it? Okay, that is called the initial condition. So you are given a point. Okay, you are given a point. Now we look at the integral, substitute. So we do by substitution. You got f of 0 equal to 0 plus 5, here is 0 squared plus 5, 0 plus c, that is equal to 12. So therefore, very straightforward, c is 12. All right. So what you got will be the integral f of x will be equal to 4x squared plus 5x plus 12. So that constant now is already set. It's equal to 12. Okay. All right. So that is the purpose of initial condition. You can find the value of C. Okay. All right. So now we look at application. So we move back to 12.2 or maybe 12.1, where they have the application. So go back to 12.1. All right. Now go to 12.1. First example is revenue. So example number 7. Yeah, it's given in 12.1. Example 7. So you are given the marginal revenue, all right, which is equal to that function. And then X is described revenue is in terms of dollars, and you have the product is what is motherboard. So you have X is the quantity of motherboard, and then revenue is in dollars. So you want to find the revenue from the sale of 1,000 units of motherboard. Okay, so for this example, you have X is the unit of motherboard, that is the good, okay, the product, and then revenue is in dollars. So you are given the marginal revenue. What is revenue? Revenue is the integral of marginal revenue, the X. So this is the concept where we use what? Where we use the empty derivative. So you know the derivative, all right? We know the derivative, f prime of X. Then you want to find the function. So that is essentially the examples or the application that you have in this 12.1, 12.2. Okay? Okay. Sekarang dapat balik ya. Zoom hilang tiba-tiba. Okay. Sekarang ni share balik. Okey, ingat jumpa balik ya. Okey. Saya punya tu hilang kejap tiba-tiba ni. So that is the concept. So you are given the marginal revenue, and then you want to integrate to get the revenue. So therefore, given the function marginal revenue there, so our revenue is equal to the integral of the r prime or mr, the x that will be equal to the integral of, you are given the function 300 minus 0.2x dx. So what is the integral? A very simple function. So the integral of 300 is 300x minus 0.2x squared over 2. And then you add the constant c. So that is our integral. So here you simplify, you got 0.1. Now, what you want to do here, you want to find what is the revenue from the sale of 1,000 units. So you have to have, okay, you have to have the value of C. What is C? So that is where you need the initial condition. Okay. Now, what is the initial condition here? For revenue, any point that you know for revenue. Any point that is true for all revenue functions. Regardless, what is the revenue function? Anybody remember what is the point that is true for every revenue?
R0.
At 0 is what? When x equal to 0, R is 0.
R
So,
equals 0.
yeah. So for revenue, sometimes they don't give you the initial value. They don't give you the initial condition because it is already known. R is 0. I mean, R is 0. No, R is 0. X is 0. R is 0. Or in other words, R of 0 is equal to 0. This is only for revenue. Okay. For cost, no. All right. For cost, they have to give you some initial condition. So that's why you look at that example, they don't give you anything because it is known. Okay, it's a fact. So given that, you can find the value of C. Okay, so what? R of 0 equal to 0. In other words, you got 300, 0, equal to 300 plus z multiplied by 0, 0.1, 0 squared plus c. So therefore, c is 0. So that is the value of c. So c is 0. So what do I get? I get revenue equal to, now, once you got the value of c, which is 0, put into the revenue function. So our revenue now is 300x minus 0.1 x squared. So that c is equal to 0. So you want to find the revenue at x equal to 1,000. So now everything will be familiar. Okay, that is a very, and everybody knows that already now. If you want to find the value of revenue at x equal to 1,000, you can do that. Okay. So what do I get? I get, substitute into the revenue, you get revenue equal to 200,000. Okay, so you substitute into the R. Okay, substitute into the R. What do I get? I get revenue equal to 200,000. You look at the book, then you get the value. So the revenue at 1,000 units, or if I sell 1,000 units of motherboard, my revenue would be equal to $200,000. Correct? So that is the integral, correct? The integral of marginal revenue. So if you want to look at the graph is given there. That will be the graph of the revenue function and the graph of the marginal revenue. Okay, right, any question? Okay, good. So go to 12.1. I want you to do a few questions. So the homework, okay, homework question for 12.1, do a few, right? For revenue, you do 42 to 40, yeah, for just 42, 40, 43, 44. And then you can do number 48, all right? And then you do number 49. So let's do one question. Okay, let's do one question. Okay, let's do number 46. Okay, I want you to do number 46. Even that example is not very relevant to us. It's about projectiles. But the method is the same. All right. You know the v, okay, which is the velocity. V is the rate of change of height. So v is, actually v is velocity. Change of distance. Okay, change of distance is the velocity. So you integrate v, you will get the height. All right. The method is the same. You integrate v because v is the rate of change of the height, and then you can find the height, and then we can find the equation. Okay, you can find the equation, and we can find the value of c. Okay, so I think the reason I asked you to do this question because of the initial condition. Right? For revenue, you know that R of 0 is 0, but for this one, it is not. So they give you 1 point. Okay, can you get the integral for question number 46? Get me the integral. The integral of v, what do you get? So for the 46, you want to find h, which is the integral of v dt. T is time. So if you remember, I think this is related to physics. Distance is the integral of velocity. If v is velocity, you integrate velocity, you will get the distance. So here, height is of course. Okay, but you don't have to know anything. Okay, we just need to know the method. So you want to find the height, you do the integral, and that integral of v. So what do we get? You integrate the v, what do we get? Okay, everybody integrate that v. Okay, 320 minus 32t, I integrate, what do I get? I get 320t minus 32t squared over 2 plus the constant c. Of course, I can simplify that. I got what? I got 16.
16.
16. So 300 there. Now, how can you find the value of c? What are we given there? You are given
T
when,
equal to 10 seconds.
when t equal to 10. Okay, when t equal to 10, what is the height? Height is equal to 1,600 feet. So we are given that point. So you can find c. So in other words, you are given h at 10 equal to 1600. So we substitute, okay? Substitute everything here, okay? Put that into h. So what I get will be 1600 equal to 320 multiplied by 10 minus 16, 10 squared plus c. Okay. You see here this question, you know, the initial condition is not the point at the point at the independent variable equal to 0. Okay, they give you some other point. So it's not necessary, you know, they always give you the value when x equal to 0. Okay, they can give you anything. X equal to 10, for example, for this one, or whatever. Okay, so that is the purpose I give you that question, because they give you a different point than the point at x equal to 0. So if you do that, all right, what do you get? C. So you can find the value of C, okay, and then you can find the question saying that you know, they don't ask you anything. Okay, just write the equation. So you get C, then you can find the value of the h, and then you know, we can add. We can add. You can find h at t equal to say 40 seconds. So you do that, right? So I want you to finish this up. Okay, so finish it up. Homework. All right. So that is 12.1. I think I already gave you some questions on 12.1. Okay, the rule. And then we move on to 12.2. Now 12.2, I think the application is similar. Okay, it's the same. You know the marginal revenue. You know the marginal, you want to find the function. So you look at example number 8. Okay, example 8 here. Example 8, still you are given the marginal revenue. You want to find revenue. The only difference is that you apply the power rule, right? They give you some marginal revenue function, which is different from the linear one. So you apply the power rule. But the thing is, you still need to find the value of the constant. Okay? So we don't have to go through that one. We move on to the question. Okay, I give you the application question for 12.2. 12.2, you can do the marginal revenue. Okay, you can do number 45 to 46. That is on the revenue. And then on the production is 48. And then number 50, productivity. All right. Now, I want you to do, wait, we want to do one question here. Okay, let's see what. We do number. Okay, we do question number 45. Okay, we do number 45. All right. So given the marginal revenue, okay, I want you to try now. Okay, do it now. I'll give you 3 minutes. Here, okay, the most important part is to get the integral. And this is where you apply the general power rule. Okay, so I want you to do number 45. And then I will go through, we go through together. Okay, all right. You got the integral? You got it. How can you get the integral? So here you apply the the power rule. This 14 point, 14 point. So if you do the integration, you get. All right. So here given the marginal revenue, I want to find the revenue. That is the integral of the marginal revenue, the X, that is equal to the integral of negative 30. Okay. Now you bring up the terms at the denominator. So you got 2x plus 1 to the power of negative 2 dx. So here you use the u, all right? So you let u be the terms in the bracket. So u be equal to 2x plus 1. Now what is u prime? U prime is 2. Okay. Now u prime is 2. I got here 30. So how do you get the 2 into the equation? So you don't remember the rule. Okay. If you forgot, the rule say what? U to the power of n, u prime, the x, the integral will be equal to u n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. So here, okay, here, the one that you have, u prime is equal to 2. But what do you have? But we have what? We have, you can take it as 30 Okay, that means 30 multiplied by -1, or you can take it as 1. So let's say, but we have 30. Okay, but I have 30. Now 30 is not equal to u prime. Or you can put -30 pun tak apa lah. Okay, but I just multiply by -1, kita put 30. Or you can put -30, doesn't matter. But -1. So how can you get the u prime equal to 2 into the function? So what do we do? What do you multiply that with? There are a few, you know, there are 1 or 2 ways to get the 2 into the equation. Correct. What do you do? When you multiply by what? Multiply by apa?
Multiply with 2/2.
So you multiply by 2/2. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, here you see here 30, right? Now 30 is actually equal to what? -15 multiply by what? Multiply by 2. Okay, so you can break that thing out. So you either can break out that -30, which is equal to -15 multiplied by 2. So I got the 2 there. Or we just follow our method. All right, if you follow our method, like our friend was saying, you multiply by 2/2. Now, if you multiply by 2/2, that means you bring up the numerator, you know, to the u prime, and then the denominator, you take it out. Okay, all right. So do that. What do you get? You know, actually, after this week, we only have 3 more weeks to go. So that 4 weeks that I said earlier is only, you know, this week is only half a week. So essentially, you have a 3.5 weeks. So taking into account this week, that means from starting next week, we only have 3 more weeks left. So 3 weeks left. So, you know, better start prepare for the final. Okay, 3 weeks. Tak lama tu. Sekejap je. Alright, so what do you get for the integral? Ini lama dah cuti ni, mesti lupa tu. Okay, so what do you get? You multiply by 2/2. You bring the 2, you know, you separate the 2, then the 2/2, then you get it. You multiply by 2/2. I will just give you the final form. So now you bring the multiply by 2/2. So what I get? I get -30, okay, over 2. You bring out the denominator, and then you have 2x plus 1 to the power of -2. And then I got 2 there. You bring out the 2. So here I have the form. Okay, I have the form of the integral. So this is u, and that is u prime. So now what I get will be -30/2. So it's -15 now. All right. U to the power of -2 u prime dx. And that is equal to -15 u to the power of -1 divided by -1 plus c. Okay, and put back the x in terms of, I don't put back, substitute u in terms of x, you got -15. Okay, -15. Okay, now -15 and -1, that becomes positive. Okay, so we got 15, and then I have 2x plus 1 to the power of -1 plus c. So that is our revenue. Okay. Is that right? Because you have the power of -2. -2, you bring up, no, -2, integrate, you got the power of -1. So that is our revenue function. Okay. So you can use the R0 equal to 0, you can find the revenue. Okay, all right, good. Now let's move on. So I'll give you a few questions, on this part. Essentially, this one is using the power rule. So practice that. Now we are not going to do chapter 12.3. 12.3 we don't do. We go on to 12.4. Okay, 12.4 is more application. So there are more applications in 12.4. Let's go through that. So 12.4, okay, move on to 12.4. Okay, 12.4, there are more applications. So look at example number 1. The example number 1, here you are given the marginal cost, 3x plus 50. And then you have the fixed cost is given as 10,000. And then you want to find the total cost. Okay, all right. So again, we did marginal revenue. Here you are given the marginal cost. You want to find the cost. We integrate the marginal cost. Okay, so given this example, you are integrating what function? I'm integrating 3x plus 50 dx. And what do I get? I get 3x squared over 2 plus 50x plus c. Okay, now for the cost, c is the cost. So we use another term, another letter, k. So k is the constant. All right. Now what you are given, okay, if you look at that example, what else are we given? You are given the fixed cost. So what is the fixed cost? Fixed cost is what? C of 0 is equal to 0. No. It's not C of 0 equal to 0. C of 0 equal to 0. That's for revenue. You want to find C of 0 when x equal to 0. The cost is the fixed cost. All right. So this is what you are given. I mean, for that example, you may be given another point. So fixed cost meaning that when x equal to 0, all right, the cost is equal to the fixed cost. So for this example, it's equal to $10,000. So substitute. Okay, substitute x equal to 0, cost equal to 10,000 into c. Okay, so what do I get? I get 10,000 equal to 3 over 2, 0, plus 50, 0, plus k. So therefore, a is equal to 10,000. So that is our fixed cost. So k equal to 10,000, you put back into the equation, right? So therefore, our cost is equal to, you add the 10,000, that will be our cost. So now you put into the, back into here. Okay. I put back into that. So you got k equal to 10,000. All right. So that is example number 1. Example number 2 will be similar. Example number 2, similar. Lah. All right. So you, again here, you do the integration, but here you apply the power rule, and then you substitute C x equal to 0, the fixed cost or the cost is equal to 11,125, then you will get the value of K. Okay, so example number 2 is the same as example number 1. So you just read example number 2. Okay, read example 2. Now, example number 3 is on the profit. Okay, so maybe you want to do the profit. Okay, so let's do the profit. Example number 3. So here you are given the marginal revenue, you are given the marginal cost. They give you the marginal revenue, go to the marginal cost. Boleh tak? Okay, boleh. Example 3 kita boleh buat. Example 3 ni dia putar alam sikit. Okay, example number 3, we are given what? You are given the marginal revenue equal to the margin, no, not equal. We are given marginal revenue. And you are given the marginal cost. Correct? Suppose each product, marginal revenue, marginal cost, and the total cost of producing 10 units is 700. At what level should the company produce in order to maximize profit? Okay. Here, what you do, you are given the marginal revenue. We know profit is equal to what? Profit is equal to revenue minus cost. So, okay, for this example, what you want to find is that given the marginal revenue, you can get the revenue. Given the marginal cost, we can get the cost. And then you got the profit. Okay? All right. So you find the profit. So look at that example. Okay? Look at that example. You want to find the marginal revenue. So you know what? I think we are going to do it quite differently from the book. Let's see. Let's see what we get. Okay, so let's do it. According to my approach. So first, you integrate the marginal revenue. You get the revenue function. Okay, go ahead. If I integrate the marginal revenue, what do I get? So is 12.4. Example number 3. Okay, kita cuba buat. Okay, if I integrate the marginal revenue, I will get 200x. Okay, if you look at the book. Okay, we just look at the example number 4, number 3. Integrate the marginal revenue. Then what you get will be the revenue equal to 200x minus 2x squared. Okay, that's we get by integrating the marginal revenue. Okay, now we go and integrate the marginal cost. Okay, this one I will do. You integrate the marginal cost, you get the cost, and that is equal to what? That's equal to integral of 50 plus 2x dx. And that is equal to 50x plus 2x squared over 2 plus k. Of course, that we cancel out. Okay. Now, what is given, all right, what is given, in order for you to find the k is what? The cost of producing 10 units is equal to what? 7,000. So here, if you see here, they don't give you the fixed cost. Okay, they don't give you the fixed cost. They give you 1 point. Okay, they give you 1 point. That means when I produce 10 units, the cost is 700. So what do? We substitute. So like I said earlier, the initial condition, all right, might not be equal to the value of the dependent variable at x equal to 0. It can be any point. So substitute this thing here into the cost. Okay, you put into the cost. What do I get? If you look at the book, they will get k equal to 100. So you do the substitution, you will find that k is equal to 100. So you have the cost, all right? You have the revenue. So therefore, our cost is equal to 50x plus x squared plus 100. Okay. So what you do now, we can use the regular method. You use the regular method. You have the revenue minus the cost. Okay. You have the revenue minus the cost. So here, profit is revenue minus cost. So therefore, our profit is equal to 200 x minus 2x squared. Okay, take away 50x plus x squared plus 100. You dapat profit. So dapat profit, differentiate je lah. Okay, use the derivative to get the point or the output level that if you want to do, you maximize the profit. Okay, all right. Or you know, or the other way is like this. If you have the profit equal to revenue minus cost, right? Then the marginal profit is equal to what? Is equal to the marginal revenue minus marginal cost. Boleh juga buat macam tu. Okay? Marginal revenue minus marginal cost. But if we do this, if you subtract from now, then probably the value of the k, you know, we do not know exactly. That will not be that can be a problem here, because if you do that, then what is the marginal revenue? The marginal revenue is 200 minus 4x, okay, minus the marginal cost, which is 50 minus plus 2x. Then that will be equal to what? That will be equal to 150 minus 6x. So that is our marginal profit. All right. So if you want to do that, then the profit is equal to what? It's equal to the integral of marginal profit. So from there, you will get the profit function. All right. But if you do this, you know, this value of k, we are not going to address in terms of, you know, the value of k is equal to, maybe we can find, you know, I'm not sure. Value of k, because the production, you know, because the production is that the cost is 700 when you produce 10 units. Is that the cost? You know, is that the cost? So if you do this, of course, you will get the profit function. But the thing is, when I want to find the value of k, the value of k. But if you do that, I think we will get the same value of x. You know, you get the same value of x. It's just that we cannot get the value of k. If you want to get the value of k, again, you have to look at the what you have to look at the cost function. Okay, but if you want just to get the profit, okay, we can do this. Okay, we can do that because you get the margin revenue minus the marginal cost, and then you integrate that, you get the profit. Okay, so you get the profit function. Okay, all right. Or another way of doing it. Okay, like I said, it will be like this. You get the marginal revenue, you got the marginal cost, put into the profit, and then differentiate, you know, to get the point where you maximize the profit. So that is the 12.4. You have the profit, cost, revenue. Okay, there is another thing that I want to look at. This is on macroeconomics, slightly different from what we have been doing. And we are going to look at example number 5. Now, example number 5 is on the national consumption. This is more of a macroeconomic. So here you have the national consumption. Okay, national consumption. We need to look at what? You look at the concept here. You have national consumption. Example of we did not by C. Okay, so here C is the consumption, national consumption. Now, if you remember what you have, in macroeconomics, you have what? This is national. I put the national there. National consumption. This is on the economy, the whole economy. That is on the whole economy. It's not on the household. It's the whole economy consumption. Now, if you recall, you got what? I got Y, national income, is equal to the national consumption plus national saving. Okay? Your national income is equal to national consumption, or sometimes you put it this way. Our national income, either you consume, all right, or either you consume, and then if you have extra, you save. Okay, so this is the use of our national income. We consume and we save. So you call it national savings. Or you can say that C is equal to Y minus S. Okay, now you can take dc dy. So I take dc dy. That is equal to dy minus ds dy. So that is equal to so here is equal to 1. dy is equal to 1 minus ds dy. So therefore, dc dy plus ds dy is equal to 1. That's the thing. So if you look at that top of the page, on page 768, dc dy, the dc dy is called, that is the derivative of the consumption with respect to income. All right, the derivative of consumption with respect to your income, that is called the MPC. That is the marginal propensity to consume. Okay, refer to the book. Okay, refer to 12.4. Or example number 5. Okay, example 5. So that is the MPC, marginal propensity to consume. That is the derivative of the consumption with respect to income. Okay, and then ds dy is the MPS. It's the marginal propensity to save. That is the derivative of the savings with respect to income. Now, the sum of the derivative, the sum of the marginal propensities, dc dy and ds dy is equal to 1. All right. So if I know dc dy, okay, if I know dc dy, I can find ds dy. Or the other way around. If I know ds dy, I can find dc dy. Because what? Is equal to 1. Okay. All right. Or you can, yeah, that's how you do it. So that is the example 5 and 6. So example 5 and 6, you are given the MPC. You are given the marginal propensity to consume, which is equal to the function there. And then you want to find the consumption, you integrate, you got the consumption. And you can find the value of K. All right. So if you look at the last part of the page, so it is given there. All right. It's given there. dc dy is equal to 1 minus ds dy. Or you can put the other way around. ds dy is equal to 1 minus dc dy. Or, okay, or ds dy is equal to 1 minus dc dy. So either way, you know, because the sum is equal to 1. All right. So let's look at example number 5. Okay, you have the marginal propensity to consume. You integrate. I got the consumption function. So after you do the integration, I got the you know, the MPC, and then Y is the income. All right. So you work it out. It's already been given in example number 5. That is equal to 0.3y plus 0.8y to the power of a half plus k. So now you can find k. If c is equal to 6, when y equal to 0, so you are given c at 0 is equal to 6. That means when your income is 0, okay, when y equal to 0, when you have no income, all right, consumption is equal to what? Is 6, whatever the unit is. Okay, even though you don't have any income, you still have to consume. All right, suppose we don't earn income. All right, but you still have to consume. Okay, because if you don't consume, you're going to die. All right, so if let's say you know you have no income, how can you consume? Just imagine, you know, imagine worst scenario. You don't have any income. How can you consume anything? Oh, I'm asking you now. You know, you can ask Ustaz Abid Liu. Dia banyak tolong orang. Okay, so if you have no income, how can you consume?
Cost saving.
Using saving.
You can use your savings. Okay, that's one. Suppose you don't have any savings. Okay, savings is 0. You know why is
Borrowing.
C plus
Borrow
S?
from bank.
Sekarang ni S ni 0. Okay, so C plus 0, tak ada saving, habis saving. So how do you do?
Borrow money.
So you can borrow. Okay, so you can borrow, all right? Now suppose you cannot borrow. Tapi kalau itu economic, alright, in terms of economics, because there is no free lunch. Either you borrow, okay, you should borrow lah. If you have no income, you borrow. But in reality, sometimes you cannot borrow, you know. So what do you do? Now we are extreme position. Of course, you know. Hopefully, we pray that we don't get into that position. Suppose you are really in desperate mode, you know, no income. Imagine, you know, if you look at the YouTube, you know, banyak video, no income, nothing, you know. How can you get consumption if you cannot borrow? How can you do that?
Begging.
Begging, yeah. Okay, so last resort, you ask from people, so you beg. Okay, if you want to do it the bad way, you steal. Okay, or you rob people, you steal. And this is allowed. Betul tak? Dalam Islam, you are allowed to steal if you are really hungry. If you're really hungry, if you don't eat, you die. So you know, in that situation, you can steal just to get the food. Don't steal $1 million. Itu dah cerita lain lah. You just steal some money to get food to make us survive, or we go begging. There is no other way. All right. Okay, but in terms of economics, if you don't have money, we borrow. Okay, because begging dengan stealing ni is free money. You don't have to incur any work to get the thing. So that is, of course, you know, a little bit away from our discussion. But the thing is, you get the MPC, and then you got the marginal, you got the consumption function, and then another point is that you look at example number 6, that will be on the saving, okay? And we know that the MPS will be equal to the MPC, MPS is equal to 1 minus MPC, or ds dy is equal to 1 minus dc dy. So if you look at example number 6, right? If you look at example number 6, what you have there is that suppose the MPS is equal to 0.25, okay? The MPS is equal to 0.025, then, okay, the consumption is 9 trillion, the marginal point, find the national consumption. Okay, so if you look at example number 6, that's where they use that relationship. Consumption is 9 trillion when income is 0. Okay, that is the initial condition. And then they give you the MPC. They give you MPS. That means ds dy. Okay, you are given ds dy, and then you want to find consumption function. So how do you do that? So we are going to make use of this relation. Okay, so for example number 6, you want to find dc dy. dc dy is equal to what? It's equal to 1 minus ds dy. Which is equal to, you are given the MPS is 0.25, so that is 1 minus 0.25, you get 0.75. So that is our MPC, all right? Because the question asks you to find consumption function. So consumption function is equal to what? Integral of dc dy, dy. So that will be equal to the integral of 0.75 dy. Okay, and then you do the integration, you will get 0.75 y plus k. Okay, where k is a constant. So now you are given when y is equal to 0. Okay, if y equal to 0, c is equal to 9. So you can find the value of k. Okay, all right. So that is example number 6. Now example number 6 is telling us how to make use of that relation. All right. So you have dc dy is just equal to 1 minus ds dy. All right. Okay. Okay, I have 5 more minutes. So I want you to do one question. Okay, I want you to do one question. So let's do one question. Okay, before that, I give you some questions. So 12.4. Okay, 12.4, I would like you to do number 1, number 6. And then number 6 is the marginal cost. And then do number 7. Okay, number 7, you get the marginal revenue, you get the marginal cost. Number 8, more similar. And then you can do number 12. Okay, number 18, number 19. All right, now I would like you to do number 20. Okay, do number 20 now. You are given the consumption or dc dy. Okay, dc dy is given. You want to find the consumption function. Okay, do number 20 now. We have 5 more minutes. I want you to complete this. Okay, after 5 minutes, I will discuss. So everybody should do it. Either you do it rightly or do it wrongly, it doesn't matter. I want you to apply the rule, okay? Get the integration, and then get the function. Okay, do it now. Number 20. It's just homework. All right, homework now. Homework for now. Which one resize window? Right? Apa saya gambar lagi yang tak ada gambar? Dulu I thought, almost everybody has the pictures already in. But now it seems that I have more people without their pictures. So if you are one of these people who already, I don't know, maybe you took out your picture, please put your picture in again. Okay? Oh, ni dah ramai pula, tak ada gambar ni. You can take out your picture after the end of the semester lah. Because this is the only way for me to get to know you. Otherwise, I do not know you, If you don't show your real picture, I don't know who is Naim ni. Okay? Siapa ni? Apa? Zeki. Okay? Your Abdul Fatih. Don't just put A. Okay, last time I thought people got their pictures in. Apa saya lepas raya ni semua Bawa keluar gambar belaka. Okay, put back your picture. All right, because I'm now taking listing attendance. All right, I'm doing attendance right now. I need your section number because I saw there are a few people still do not have the section number in Zoom. So please put your section number. Otherwise, I will list you as absent all the time. Maybe I will recommend for barring the final. Okay, and then put your picture. All right, put your picture. Apa susahnya picture? Are you VVIP that I cannot see your picture? Kalau macam tu, tak payah ambil kelas lah. Okay. If people cannot see your picture, I'm your teacher, even that you cannot see, then better go to the cave. Okay. Go and stay in the cave rather than go stay here. Okay, I want to see by the next class. Okay, these people without pictures, I want to see all of them put your picture in. All right, this is already the end of the semester. I have penat lah saya kan. I told you from the beginning of the semester. Ini dah kena habis semester dah. I have more people having. I think you took out your picture. What's wrong with you? Huh? Haram ke tengok gambar ni? Aduh, banyak lagi benda haram yang lagi besar lah. Okay, I need to see your picture. I need to know my students. All right. Otherwise, I have no idea who you are. Okay. Please take out. Please put in your pictures by next class. If you don't, okay. If you don't, then kita tahu nak cakap apa lah. All right. All right. So now, go back to that question. Question number 20. All right, people, did you get the function? What is the consumption function? Anybody get the consumption function? Okay, what do you get? So C, okay, is equal to the integral of the MPC dy, and that is equal to, or you can use dc dy. That is equal to, you bring up the 2y plus 9. So you got 2y plus 9 to the power of negative half. Plus 0.8. Okay, 0.8 everything dy. Now 0.8 is easy to integrate. But the one that gives you some problem, probably this thing here. So it's good to break out. Okay. So this one is easy. You don't have to worry. So now you look at the one that you want to integrate, the one that is more difficult. So you break it out. So now you look at the 2y plus 9 to the power of negative half dy. Okay. Now, how do you integrate that? What do we do? Anybody? After you have done this for a few minutes, how did you do it? Anybody? Anybody yang dah buat lah. Okay, what do you get? Anybody? You will get what? You will let u be equal to what? You let u be equal to 2y plus 9. Okay, now what is u prime?
2.
U prime is equal to 2. Okay, but you have only what? You have 1. Okay, you are given 1, which is not u prime. So what do? You multiply by what? You multiply by 2 over 2. Okay, so you multiply by 2 over 2 here. I just put it right away, right there, but so you bring out the half out, and then you put that 2 here. So you got the u prime, which is 2. I got u to the power of negative half. Therefore, our integral is equal to half. All right. U 2y plus 9 to the power of negative half plus 1. So that is to the power of half divided by a half. Betul tak? Divided by half lah. Is that right? Negative half plus 1 is half. Okay, you divide by half. So that half and that half cancel out. So you got, of course, you got a plus k. Yeah? Okay, so that is the integral of the first part. So therefore, okay, our c is equal to what? Is equal to 2y plus 9 to the power of half plus, okay, now you put in the 0.8, 0.8y plus k. Okay, so you need to find the k. You are given what? This is question number 20. You are given when y is equal to 0. This is what you are given. So you can find the value of k. Given y equal to 0, c is equal to 5.8 billion. So tak payah tu, letak lagi 5.8. So you put in everything, you will get the value of k. All right. Okay. So that is question number 20. So question number 20, we have done it. So if you have not done, you check here. Okay. Check. Make sure we know how to do the multiplication. Okay. Multiplication by the ratio of the constant, so that you can get derivative. So that rule, okay, that general power rule is important because you know, application-wise, there are too many of them. Okay, but not that difficult. Okay, not that difficult. We deal only with reasonable function. So now you can find the value of k. So we finish it up. All right, all right. So I think I will stop here. So that will do it for chapter number 12. Okay, 12.5 we don't do. And then next class or next week, we're going to move on to chapter number 13. So next week, we will start with the definite integral. Okay, definite integral, chapter 13. Make sure, all right, make sure this chapter 12, at least, you know, we know all the rules. And then how to use the application, because the application today, you know, I spent the whole period so that we will get, all right, we get the concept. And the application is not that difficult. Application is basically, you know, the marginals, you want to find the function. So that is essentially the application. All right, okay. So next week, we'll start with the definite integral. So I'll give you some questions, make sure you do some of those. Hopefully, we will get a good understanding of that topic. All right, I'll see you again. Have a nice weekend. Okay, have a nice weekend. Have good time. You know what? I thought the Hari Raya tu MCO, you know, PKP. Tapi Karak Highway itu penuh kereta. You know, last night they show. No wonder, okay, no wonder. During the Hari Raya, after Hari Raya, cases in Pahang, Terengganu, okay, naik. Now they have cases in Pahang and Terengganu already in the 100 plus. Kelantan dengan cakap lah, Kelantan dah naik lah. So I think many people still go back to kampung during Hari Raya. So these people, they are selfish, you know. They don't care about other people. So we have to obey the SOP, you know. Please obey the SOP. Don't think about ourselves only, you know. Think about other people. Okay. So take care of you. Take care of yourself. I'll see you again next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Baru nak habis kelas, baru dengar suara. Tadi semua tak ada suara. Okay, thank you. Nice to see, to hear you. Okay. Even though departure time, but still nice to hear your voices. Okay, thank you. I'll see you.